Everybody says the most powerful word is please. Turns out that's not true. The most powerful word might actually be because. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing one of the most interesting studies, one of the most interesting psychology studies. It's a study about how powerful the word because is. It's from Ellen Langer, often called the Ellen Langer experiment or the copy machine study, talking about the power of because. I'm going to read an article on this and how we can use this word to increase our copy, to increase our sales, to increase everything, just make our lives better, get more traction, close more deals, close more sales, get more visibility. It's really just a great word. I'm going to be sharing this article that I found about it is pretty good. I'm going to be reading it. This is my daily, for those who don't know, welcome to the Edward Show. This is my daily, 7 days a week, growth hacking podcast, 7 to 15 minutes long every day, where I share growth hacks, visibility hacks, persuasion hacks, psychology hacks, hacks that I love and that get results. And today's hack is the word because, a simple hack. So I'm going to read this article. This article is from thejoyofbusiness.co.uk, and it's literally called How to Use the Magic Word Because. So here we go. I'm going to share this article. This is a great tactic from Robert Cialdini's influence book. Use it wisely in your sales. By the way, I discovered how good the word because is from this book, influenced by Robert Cialdini, and I read it because it's one of Warren Buffett's most recommended books. It's a great book. I've talked about it on the show before. There's a line of students, so here's a study from Ellen Langer. There's a line of students at the photocopier in the library. Another student tries to push in the queue to photocopy her notes, saying, "May I use the Xerox machine?" The people already in the queue tell her, "No way, there's a queue here, you have to wait." Then the experimenters get the queue jumper to say, "May I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush?" When she says because, everyone else lets her go first. Even when she used the rubbish reason, "May I use a Xerox machine because I need to make copies?" She literally said, "Because I need to make copies." The rest of the people in the queue still stood aside and let her go first. Presumably, they all needed to make copies too, so she did not have a valid reason to go ahead of everyone else. She literally said, "Because I need to make copies." And so actually the stat is, when she said, "Because I'm in a rush," 94% of people said yes. When she said, "Because I need to make copies," which is literally the rubbish reason, everyone else needed to make copies too. But 93% of people let her skip the line. She said, "Because I need to make copies." Crazy. Going back to the article now. This isn't me in my university days. This scenario is a real study by Ellen Langer in 1977 who tested it over and over and got the same results. Robert Cialdini talks about this in his excellent book Influence, and you can read the full details here, and she shares the book Influence. Using the word because can help you influence people, not just to jump the queue by giving a reason. I wonder if the people behind the L'Oreal ad campaign had read Robert Cialdini's Influence book when they came up with their Because You're Worth It campaign to get us to buy their products. Other ways you can use this. Here are some other ideas to use this in your marketing. Include the word because in your call to action on your website. Take part in my Make Your Business Remarkable program because you need support to get your business to the next stage. Use because in your next sales meeting. I think you would benefit from some business coaching because I can see how much potential there is to build up momentum in your business. Or I think you would benefit from some business coaching because I can help you to build this business. Educate your potential customers before they buy to make sure that they are keen to buy from you rather than one of your competitors by using the phrase, "Other people love my email tips and stories because they're so different than the usual way people talk about business." These are all about my products and services. So this is the author, because I want to encourage you to buy something or to get some business advice from me. See what I did there? That's funny. She said because. It's great. Here are some non-joy of business ones. Instead of "Shall we meet for a coffee to talk about how I can help you?" substitute "Shall we meet up because we can have a good chat about how I can help?" People love so-and-so software because it's much faster than anything they've seen before. We are the best, insert your service here, company in the world because we've gone further than anyone else in creating a learning culture for our staff. Vote for me because I'm the only one you can trust. Vote for me because you know I care about our local area. James Clear wrote about this too. And James Clear, he's a legendary author from Atomic Habits. He wrote a pretty well-known article called The One Word That Drives Senseless and Irrational Habits. And this is what he said of the Xerox study, the copy machine study, the Ellen Langer study. Here's what he said. The study became famous because it uncovered one of the most powerful words we use to drive our behavior, because. Langer's work proved that as long as we could justify a behavior in our brains, I'm doing this because, we would perform the behavior even if the reason didn't make sense. So it's a cool word. It's a cool little study. It's just one of those little optimizations that we can make that makes things just so much sweeter. And I love it. I think it's fascinating. I think it's so much fun. It's one of those things that I read and I felt inspired and I liked. And so I wanted to share it on this show. This is episode 162 of The Edward Show. If you like this, if you like growth hacks, if you like shortcuts, consider subscribing to my newsletter, edwardstrom.com/newsletter. It's weekly. I share growth hacks and automations and marketing automations every week. And if you don't want to subscribe, you can also just read all my newsletters at edwardstrom.com/articles. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.